Hello, this is Brad Harvey with Harvey Investment Management, and today we're going to talk about the benefits of rebalancing a portfolio. This can occur both in stock and bond portfolios, mutual fund portfolios that include a myriad of different investments. What is rebalancing? Well, it really has to do with truing up your exposure in different areas, so it's a risk management tool. What it tends to do is trim things that perhaps have gotten outsized by too much exposure, or it adds exposure to things that perhaps aren't doing as well over time. Now, a passive approach to this, which we call autopilot, is saying, okay, every year, every 6 months, I'm going to rebalance back to my original portfolio allocation. So perhaps you have 60% in US stocks and 40% in US bonds, and every 6 months you want your portfolio to rebalance back to 60-40. Now, of course, that's not necessary. You can leave portfolios be and just let them go over the years. However, that is not your best risk management tool. Remember the old adage, you want to sell high and buy low. Now, we want to do this with a little bit of a degree of measured approach. And the reason is, sometimes you want to let those things that are really working continue to work. But in a passive approach, you're only making changes based on a calendar, and you're taking those percentages back to your original goals. Another approach is active rebalancing. This is where you're making changes to the portfolio and maybe even over or underweighting exposure based on what's going on in the overall economy, what's going on with different segments of the marketplace. So perhaps you want to overexpose yourself to maybe technology or biotechnology or industrials, and underexposed to bonds, things that are really exposed to interest rates, and now 10-year treasuries might be yielding 2% as opposed to 3%. Those things have gone up. Perhaps we want to pull back on our exposure. So that's an active approach. It's not based on a calendar. It's really based on what's going on overall. That's more of an active portfolio management approach. Then the third approach is what we like to call a hybrid approach. And it's sort of like setting autopilot on your airplane and saying, wait a minute, there's some bad weather that's coming up. We filed this flight plan, but maybe we're going over Kansas and there are a lot of thunderstorms and we want to change our flight plan a little bit, adjust the autopilot to go over or around that weather. That's what a hybrid approach does. It says, okay, if we get to an outsized exposure in an asset class, perhaps we want to reduce that. Perhaps not. Maybe we do want to overexpose some areas of our overall portfolio or underweight different areas. It really depends not only on a calendar and those percentages of exposure, but what's going on in the overall economy. So this is Brad Harvey. Today, that's the benefits of rebalancing. Remember, there's an active approach, a passive approach, and a hybrid approach. Thank you for watching, and if you have any other topics, please feel free to email us or give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. This is Brad Harvey with Harvey Investment Management. I hope you have a great day.